Okay, today let's talk about using the hips in the press. Often, Steve, we're guilty of, if it seems a little difficult, complicated, of just doing a strict press. And we're really doing ourselves a disservice because the idea is to use exercises that use the most muscle mass to move the most weight over the longest effective range of motion. So, I mean, we can use the hips to do all three of those things. So let's talk about it and give it a try. Usually the problems are, number one, timing of the hips, or number two, the magnitude of the hips. So let's try to address those kind of in order. So face the wall, hands on hips, spread your feet apart like you're in a squat stance. Abs tight, knees locked. Push your hips forward into that tightness. Okay, back. Push it as further into the tightness as you can. Okay? Bounce out of the tension. That's getting better. As far as you can. Keep those knees locked. One more. Okay, not bad. Now, we talked about the magnitude, and that's what we're trying to get at, how big you make your hips. Let's talk about the timing. Let's go ahead and take a grip on the bar. Rotate under it. Elbows in, everything tight. Same thing with your hips, as far as you can, but do not press it. Okay? We want to get a bounce on the bar with our hips. Okay? Hips go forward, we're not laying back. That's better. We want to get a bounce on the bar. I'm going to do this.
Okay.
You feel that?
Mm-hmm.
That is what we want to make happen with our hips. So a couple more. Just one more. Hips forward, not laying back. Okay, go ahead and rack it. Now what we're going to do in a second is we're going to connect that hip movement to the press. We're going to time it so that when we get the bounce at the bottom, we're going to use it to initiate the press and go ahead and press. Well, we're going to do 5. The first 3, we're just going to try to get the bounce in the bar with our hip motion. And then the last 2, like I said, we'll connect the hip motion to the actual press. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. Go ahead and take your grip. Elbows in tight, armpits tight. Now before you do the first one, this is what we're trying to make happen with our hips. So hips, no press. Make that bar bounce. Hips forward, not laying back. Now, hips, then press. Okay, we're a little out of order there. Hips, pause, then press. Okay, go ahead and rack it. Now we're actually going to take a rest and do that one more time because we talked about the timing is important. Hips, then press. Hips, then press. What you're doing is you're pressing really before your hips. So that's what we're talking about with the timing. We want the hips to go first before we initiate the press. Okay? Let's give that a shot. Just a couple more if you don't mind.
Now I noticed when the hips started to come back a little bit, and that's when the bar goes up.
We want to, the bar goes up when we get the bounce. I don't think we're getting enough of a bounce yet. So that's a terrific question, but the head does have to go back to get out of the way of the bar, but it's really the timing that we're getting after. Let's give this one last shot. And again, before you take your first rep, I'm going to test the tightness of your setup, make sure we can get a bounce out of it, okay? Just like I did before. Elbows in tight, armpits tight. That's what we're trying to make happen with our hips. So hips, then press. That's a little bit better. Hips, pause, then press. I like that. I like that a lot. That's a good note to end on. Go ahead and rack it. Thank you, Steve. Success on the last one. Thank you.